Еще рано, ну, еще нет 11, я сказала, 11 нет. Можешь включить мое лицо, чтобы достаточно. Включи пока смотрится. Сейчас. Подожди. Ну ты потом выключишь. Можно? Если будет хорошо слышно, можно не выключать. Молодых, да? Если будет хороший звук, можешь не выключать. Ты хочешь, чтобы тебя видели или не хочешь? Если звук будет хороший, то выключишь. Если не очень хороший, то... Два раза. Не знаю. Что? Занеси ничего, ты услышишь. Включи себе кейсы смотри. Чтобы тогда просто так чуть-чуть я опаздываю. Я буду здесь.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Naomi. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Where are you right now? Is this your hotel?
I'm in my hotel. Yeah.
Got it. Oh, lovely. And you've been in Costa Rica for how many days?
4 days now.
Okay.
Maybe 5.
Cool.
4.5.
Hi, Ludmilla. Hi. How's it going? And how's it been going?
Good. I haven't actually went anywhere yet because I've been busy with chess.
Just playing chess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the tournament's been going okay.
What?
The tournament has been going okay.
Yeah, I have 3.5 out of 5, which is, I mean, it's okay. I'm in 4th place right now, so.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's
Mm.
great. That's huge.
I'm playing the under 18 section. Well, I could have been playing in the under 14, but not interesting. So yeah, under
Yeah.
18, 4th place is pretty good.
Do you think that, and this is just a starting off question, do you think how much does age factor into playing chess?
Well, definitely like, so I started playing when I was 5, but then I progressed like pretty slowly because at 5 it was difficult to like grasp everything, but and then but I got better basically. But then people who start later, it takes much even if they're not as good, it still takes like they progress much quicker because they already grasp everything. It's easy to understand. It's they already like their mind's already like good at memorizing stuff.
Got it. Hmm. Um, well, okay, so just an aside, thank you so much for taking time out of your tournament to talk to me. I really appreciate it, and it's lovely to meet you. Um, so yeah, so I want to hear more about you and about how you started playing chess.
Well, I started playing chess, like I said, when I was 5.
Mhm.
It was my brother was actually the one that started chess in the family. He saw when he was 5, he saw checkers, and then he thought it was no, he saw chess, thought it was checkers. When he realized it wasn't checkers, he wanted to play, so he learned how to play chess, and he got pretty good. And then when I reached 5 and he was 10, he taught me how to play, and also my parents taught me a bit, and he helped me a bit.
Um, and uh, what did you think of the sport, or what did you think of the game when you first started out?
When I first started, I
Yeah.
think like one thing I remember I liked was um, when I won like a tournament, a pretty decently sized tournament, I would get a trophy, and then if it was a big enough trophy, I would take it to school and show it to all my friends.
Um, Friends who also played chess?
What?
Did you have did many of your peers also play chess, or were you one of the few people in your grade?
Uh, at 5 years old, there weren't too many people playing chess, but I remember there were a few older kids when I was kind of in elementary school that also played chess. They weren't as good as me by the time I was like, even by the time I was like 2nd grade, I was beating all the 6th graders. But there was also my brother. He went to the same elementary school as me. But I mean, there were a few people that played chess. There was a chess club, and it was fun. I played there pretty often when I was younger.
Hmm. So, what is it about chess that you found appealing? And what is it about it today that you really like? And how would you say it differs um, from other games that are out there?
Mm, when I first started chess, I mean, I think I just liked winning, honestly, and yeah, I liked winning, and I liked prizes and stuff like that basically. And then now that I'm older, I still like winning obviously, but also like just playing. It's difficult, it's interesting, it's complex, um, and it really makes me think a lot. And it's like there's a lot of things to think about. And then other games, it's people introduced me to them, and then I play it, and then I quickly become good at it. It's not as interesting. It's boring.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, how would you say um, you sit down at a tournament and you sit down at a game, what is running through your head? Yeah.
Well, one I'm thinking about, I always prepare for a game, at least for important games before the round. So like there's the pairings are posted a long time before, hours before. So then I check my opponent's games, what opening. Sometimes if I really look good, I might find their style or something. So then when I'm sitting at the chessboard, I'm just reviewing everything. Sometimes I find something new. There's some new opening I've never heard of, but usually it's the same thing. So I just review it, think about it. Yeah, and I just try to relax usually.
Tell me about a game, tell me about the first time. Was there a first time that you remember beating your brother or beating a family member? Yeah.
Okay, so my brother. I don't think I've actually beaten him when he's playing his full strength. I think I've drawn him maybe once, but I don't really like to play against him. But I do remember when I was teaching me chess first, he would let me win. So he would like his queen or whatever in an obvious place where I could take it. So I just get a free queen and I just win the game. But yeah, he would let me win. And then I don't remember beating my parents, but what I do remember is in second grade, I lost. I think I blundered and then I became losing. And then I remember that I was like, wow, this is the first time I've lost to my dad in a while. So that was in second grade.
And tell me more about your family and about what the four of you are like and your relationship with your family members and that sort of thing.
Mom always travels with me to chess tournaments, so she always makes sure I'm prepared for the game and that I'm like feeling rested and I don't go to sleep at 1 a.m. and stuff. And then my dad, he also sometimes comes with us. Not always though, but he's kind of the organizer. So without him, it's sort of the organization split between me and my mom. And then my brother, who it's like we fight, but it's like loving fight. Yeah. And then he doesn't really play chess anymore. Because when he went to college, he kind of stopped playing chess, and then he just graduated, so he's gonna go traveling now. So he pretty much quit chess, unfortunately. But oh well. But yeah, and then he's going traveling, so I'm probably gonna miss him for a few months.
And when you were 5 years old or just learning to play chess, when would you guys play? Was it after school? Was it on the weekends?
Probably both, just whenever we felt like it, I guess. Because I think we both had plenty of free time, so yeah.
And do most of your friends at school, do they play chess? Or is it sort of, yeah.
So first of all, there's the Odal chess team, the middle school chess team, and then over the past 3 years, we went to nationals 3 times and we got pretty good scores. They're pretty, yeah, I remember actually last year we got second place for first, which is like really good in nationals, like from kindergarten to 8th grade. So that was great. And then there's a few decent players that, it's not as strong as me, but they're still decent. But the funny thing is, recently there's sort of been like a chess frenzy or something, because what happened is we got school laptops this year, so everyone has their own laptop. And then between classes or like when we finished the classwork, people would go online on the computer and play chess against each other. And it's like even people who barely heard of chess before start playing it, and it's fun. And then they're like, Naomi, come help me with this position quick, or something.
Oh, first of all, that's very cool that you guys all got laptops. That's very exciting. Uh, I guess, yeah, I mean, how would you compare the lifestyle that you have as a chess player to to another 13-year-old at your school? I mean, I guess you have to travel more, you have to train more. Yeah.
Well, so one thing is that sometimes, not always, but sometimes chess travel cuts into my school time. So then I have to make up before, during, after. It's really stressful, but it's okay. I handle it. But then it's actually, I mean, the workload isn't that different because the thing is, a lot of my peers and friends have a ton of extracurricular activities, piano, swimming, soccer, some other stuff. So, I mean, in terms of how much time we spent on extracurriculars, it's not that much of a difference. The are busy over the weekends. I'm busy with chess. So, I mean, it's similar, I guess.
Mm. And do you have someone you train with, a teacher?
Yeah, I have a grandmaster coach back in Washington in Bellevue. And then I went to him since I was maybe 5 or 6, and then my brother also went, but then again he stopped eventually. And then it's once a week, every Wednesday we meet up for about 2 hours, and we just look over the games I played last weekend, any troubles I have in the openings or in just general chess stuff. Yeah, it helps a lot.
And okay, so tell me about the opening of a game of chess and why it's so important, and I guess the strategy that or like what you think about when you're going to make a first move in chess.
Well, the thing is, for openings, it's pretty much just a bunch of memorization. Like maybe when I get more advanced, I can memorize more openings, so I can actually choose between them. But for now, I usually just have one single line memorized for every single opening that I know of. And because I kind of just play the thing that works the best for me for my style of chess. And also I don't want to like switch stuff because then maybe I'll mix something up or there'll be something new I've never seen of. So the opening, it's sort of like if I play the opening well, then afterwards the middle game and maybe even the end game, it'll be just sort of easy. Like I know the strategy right out of the opening. I know what to do. I don't have to spend too much time. Yeah. And then if I somehow mess up or my opponents play something new and then I mess up, then it's sort of I have to think, and sometimes I mess up further, so I get a bad position. So the opening, like sometimes you can just be winning straight out of the opening, and that's always fun. So the opening matters a lot. It dictates the rest of the game.
And forgive me because I've played chess before. I know how the pieces work, but the strategy I don't know a lot about. So it is true that you could basically be able to foresee a strategy for the entire game by someone's opening move.
Well, not opening move, but opening moves, I guess.
Opening moves.
But I mean, maybe not for the entire game. There's not a single strategy for the entire game. Maybe for the entire middle game, but then like no game is the exact same. So it always gets to, if you play long enough, if you go into the end game, it goes to a different position than you position, but sometimes different position you've ever played before. So then you have to think and actually make a strategy. But yeah, and then strategies. So again, strategies come out of the opening, sort of like, again, sort of memorization, but also not really, because it's not, the strategies don't always have to be in an exact move order. Sometimes you can pick and choose between plans. Like you could either attack the king, the opponent's king, or you could try to get a better center, a better position, so your pieces are more active. Maybe you can, if you castle the same way, then it's sort of nice and safe. If you castle opposite ways, is whoever attacks the other king first basically wins. So I mean, there's a lot of strategies, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are there any other games that I don't know, I mean, there's something so interesting about chess because it's international, it's a very old game. I don't know, what do you think is so unique and appealing about it?
I mean, I guess it sort of appeals to everyone. So, like I said, the people at my school who barely know how to play chess, they find it fun. They like winning. People like me, they sort of, it's interesting. It's more complex. You can see deeper and more understand more. And then like the great grandmasters and world champions, they have a like full grasp of the game. So it's, I mean, even whether you're terrible or awesome at chess, it's still fun.
Um, and tell me about the hardest, maybe not the hardest game you've played, but maybe one that was a disappointment, or you thought you were going to do better, or it ended up being a huge challenge. Tell me about a tournament or a game that was really an obstacle for you, either emotionally or just technically.
Well, the first thing I think of is when I was playing my first World Youth Chess Championship. It was in Brazil, so it was my first time, and I knew it was my first time, and I knew I would play further in further years. I'd play again in say. So I was playing under 8 section at that time, and I knew after that I'd play under 10, under 12, under 14, etc. until under 18. So I at that time, in the very first round, I was nervous, and then I was really nervous, and I was playing actually pretty strong. And then the thing is that I ended up losing, and I remember walking to the hotel after that, and I said that I would forever remember that because it's like my first really important game. But now, like, I laugh about it. More recently, I think it's in the World School Chess Championship last December, which I ended up getting first place in. But I remember that I think even the first 3 rounds were just straight up 3 draws in a row, which was terrible since I was second by rating. And it was like, I was disappointed, and I was, after every draw, I was like, oh, there's no chance I'll get first place anymore. But then fortunately, and then my playing was just terrible back then. Like it was completely not my usual level. But then I got my game up, and then the rest of the rounds I won, so it was okay.
Oh, so you ended up winning all of the other rounds?
No, I ended up drawing to the person who ended up getting second place. But other than that, yeah, I won the rest of the rounds.
It's so interesting the way that right, that, the predictable and unpredictable nature of chess is just, yeah. Wait, so in your first.
Hello? She got on. Oh. Hello?
Может, выключишь камеру?
No, I can. No, it was her. She logged off.
Sorry about that.
Oh, hi.
I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
So I was wondering, take me through that first World Youth competition in Brazil, and tell me about how old you were, and so you were playing in the under-8 section.
Yeah.
And you lost. Was it the first game?
Yeah, the first game.
Got it. And sorry, how old were you?
So I was 8 because it was under 8 by January. So, but by the time the tournament, I was 8. So what happened? It was 9 rounds, and then I ended up losing 2 more games. I think it was against Americans that I lost. Actually, the 2 games I lost, but then it's fine. So 3 rounds I lost, 6 rounds I won. Pretty good result. I think I got 13th place, which I mean for my first tournament, I thought it was pretty good. I was sad I didn't get first place, but oh well.
And what did your parents say after that first round? Or yeah.
I remember, so my mom was walking with me when we were going to the hotel, and it was a long time ago, but I think she was calming me down or something, and I was the one that was like really sad, but she was like, it's okay, there's still a lot of rounds left. I mean, my parent, like, I was 8 years old, so I guess they were just sort of trying to make me feel a bit better. Maybe they bought me ice cream. I can't really remember.
And so when you play in these tournaments, the players are from all around the world.
Yeah.
And that is so. It must be. Yeah, tell me what the atmosphere is like at these tournaments.
I don't know. It's hard to describe it. I mean, like, it's like sometimes, okay, so when we go to tournaments, there's usually a lot more players of the local country there because it's really close. So they come by, even if they're not that good and they probably won't get first place, they still come by to play. And then so then there's a lot of people of one country there and a lot of people speaking the same language. So they talk between each other. And then it's like, I can't understand them, but I can tell that like they're friends. And then sometimes also when there's Americans next to me or I'm playing against one, we chat a little bit and we just like talk about random stuff. That was mostly when I was younger. I think as I got older, it became a bit more serious. So, I mean, I wouldn't call it a tense atmosphere, but it's like a bit more stressful than as like an 8-year-old or something.
And do you still feel nervous, or is it mostly excitement before you travel to a tournament or before you play a game?
Well, okay, before I travel to a tournament, it's mostly excitement. Oh, I'm going to a fun chess tournament. I'm going to see places. Yay. And then before the round, hours before the round even, it's just mostly stress. I mean, the stress isn't that much if I just won the previous game. But like even if I won, or especially if I drew or lost, it's like nervous for the next round. Am I going to be playing against someone strong, someone not that strong? Am I going to be white or black? Will I know what to do? Will I mess up? Yeah.
What is the difference in what is the difference in playing white or playing black?
Well,
is it just yeah, go on.
Well, for white and black, there's completely different openings. One, because just that one tempo at the very beginning of the game makes a complete, total, absolute difference. Wait, are there problems?
Oh, it looks like we're working again. Okay. So, so you were saying white and black, completely different openings.
Yeah. So just that, like I said, just that one tempo, just that one move that white gets at the very beginning completely changes everything. It's always, almost everyone I know looks forward to playing white more than playing black, because it's like a tiniest advantage could mean the whole game, especially at like, maybe not our level, but especially at stronger levels. And then for me, I definitely prefer playing white because my favorite openings are as white, whereas as black, there's like some stuff. It's like, whatever. I know this. I play this. Oh well. It's just like if you draw as white, then it's sort of like sad. If you draw as black, that's okay. And then if you win as black, that's like woohoo, yay! Yeah, it's like I said, this small set differences really impacts the game.
And okay, so tell me about a game that or a tournament that you were really, really proud of, or that, yeah.
I mean, there's that World School where I got first place in, but I mean, not all my rounds were the best place, so it wasn't. I'm proud of getting first place, but not necessarily of a few of my games. Proudest, I think I don't remember. I don't really know my proudest tournament, but I think my proudest game was just actually a few months ago. I think when I was playing against a grandmaster in a tournament for the first time. Like grandmasters are hard to find. There's only a few. So I was playing against one, and then I was playing pretty decently, and then I actually got an advantage against him. But then by the ending, I made a bit of a mistake. I'm a bit of an aggressive player, so I tried to turn that small advantage into a win when really I should have just settled for a perpetual check, which would have been a draw. So it's just like, he can't do anything, I can't do anything, it's just a draw. But I wanted to do something, and then immediately I just he just dominated my structure and my whole position, and then I just lost. So I probably need to work at that, but I could have drawn a grandmaster, which I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah. What was I going to ask? How old was the grandmaster, and where was he from?
I don't know where he was from, but I know it's in the Oregon tournament, the Oregon State tournament, I think. Maybe it was actually almost a year ago. I don't remember, but he was from Oregon, I'm pretty sure, and I think he had white hair, so I don't know, maybe like probably somewhere from 40s to 50s. I can't really remember, but yeah, something like that. So a lot older, obviously.
And when you say that you have an aggressive chess style, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I guess the opposite of aggressive would be sort of positional or solid. So aggressive is sort of, I try to attack a lot, and then I really, sometimes it's a bit of risky moves, and then it pays off for me. And then I'm also good at attacking, Um, and it's so like I in that game, it's aggressive would be trying to win when I should have gone for a draw. So it doesn't always work, but aggressive is, I mean, sometimes it pays off. Like in one position, my opponent offered me a draw, and then it should have been a draw. She was actually slightly better, but I kept on playing and I managed to win. So I sort of persevere, and then I kind of it's actually kind of funny because it's not really necessarily the style of play, but I noticed that in the section I'm playing in, at least all the 16, 17, 18-year-old girls I'm playing, they resign very easily. So I immediately, like, if I like win an exchange or something, or win a few pawns, or just even like I win a whole piece or something, it would be a position where if I was losing that, I wouldn't resign, and I would keep on playing, hope for a draw, and then sometimes I would draw that, but usually I would lose. But I mean, sometimes it's better than never. But they just resign right away, before long before I would even consider resigning in their position. So I I guess it also sort of has to do with aggressiveness. I'm sort of persevere. So, and then, like I said, the opposite would be sort of solid or positional, which is also a style of play that works, but I'm not really good at it. It would be kind of like slowly improve your pieces, like it's like a closed position. The pawns are sort of interlocked, and then you slowly move the knights, say like 4 moves, so like the best square, get your pieces ready, like best sort of positions. That's why it's called positional. Um, yeah, it's sort of slow, and then I'm not really good at that. I'm more good at just like fast-paced stuff to confuse my opponent, I guess.
And tell me more about the trend that you were saying about women, I guess going in for or accepting a draw more earlier than or earlier um, than men. Is
Yeah,
that true? Yeah.
um, yeah, I'd say sometimes you can find like a really aggressive girl, but other times it's just like they're happy with a draw, they're fine with a draw. Um, and then also it's like I know the guys, at least like what I'm hearing from my friends, that in the guys there it's like the exact opposite. They keep on playing until the very end in positions where it's like beyond hope. There's no point. You'll never draw a position like this in your whole chess career, but they just keep on going. So it's a bit of the opposite problem for them. But I mean, I don't know too much about draws though. I guess, um, yeah, it would probably seem like girls are more likely to offer a draw than guys.
Why do you think that is?
Uh, I don't know. They're happy with it, I guess. I wouldn't know.
Do you think it's, yeah, I mean, like a fear of losing, or is it just like a more like thoughtful decision that you really couldn't see yourself actually winning the game? Um, uh, you know, you were saying like some guys will just play until the very end, even though there's no way of them to win, no way for them to win. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think the thing is, girls sometimes, not always, but sometimes, like there's have the teeny tiny advantage in say the end game or something. But it's obvious that it's a theoretical draw if the wait. Hi.
Hi, sorry. Okay. Lost you again for a second. But okay, so go on. So yeah.
Yeah, so like I was saying, it's there's positions in the end game that are completely are almost completely drawn. It's the if the computers played it, it would obviously be a draw. And nothing that would happen would be a draw. It's like it's not too difficult. But then the thing is that humans aren't computers, so even really strong players can sometimes, if they think they're secure, if they think their opponent's just being stupid playing, keep on playing when it's obviously a draw. Sometimes they might make a mistake or not make an accurate move, and then that just keep, and then that just like keeps on going, and then they keep on making more mistakes, and then eventually, sometimes it is possible to win if you're really good at that type of positions. It's sort of because it's kind of like I think my coach called it torturing your opponent. Because it's like they really want to draw. It's they like think there's no way that I could possibly lose this position, but sometimes because they're like that, they do end up losing. And then I think a lot of times maybe girls don't press that advantage, that not advantage, but like don't like keep on trying after that. So they're like they realize that it's a draw. Maybe they also realize that like if they keep on playing, then maybe they'd mess up or something. So yeah, I mean, there's positions I've been in. Like I try to play for a little bit just so like the people who see my game won't be disappointed that oh wow she accepted a draw so easily. But then like eventually it comes to a point where it's like I'm playing against a strong player. I'm a strong player. There's no way we'll mess up. It's very drawish. So I mean, eventually, sometimes in positions, yeah, it's a draw. There's no point to tire yourself further.
Um, and tell me more about how gender factors into chess, and the number of female players, um, uh, and what it's like to be a woman playing chess versus a man.
I mean, so at my school, there's on the chess team, I'm the only girl on it, even though I'm like the best on it. I'm still the only girl on it. There are still like in like I said, the chess frenzy. There are a few girls who joined in, but they're not like good enough to be on the chess team. But then I do have some friends, some girl friends from all over the U.S. that we meet up at tournaments. At a camp, I remember there are a few girls invited. It was mostly boys, but there were a few girls, and we mostly chatted amongst ourselves. I mean, it's at tournaments. It's there's the open section which both boys and girls can enter into, which is 99% of the time just guys. And then there's the girls section, which is obviously only girls. So it's sort of the girls section is slightly lower kind of requirements to get into that. So then a lot of girls like take that, even if they could qualify into the open section, they take that opportunity to get first place. But then it's what ends up happening is that there's pretty much an equal number of girls and guys at really important tournaments. So it's like it's not like you're super lonely or something. So it's still fun. And then, I mean, I think at my level, at my age, no one really cares that I'm a girl. But I think when I was really young, and then yeah.
Sorry, I lost you again. You were saying that, yeah, you think that you felt like when you were younger.
When I was really young, I don't really remember it, but according to my mom, it's like I would beat older 13-year-old boys when I was like 6 or 7 years old or something, and they'd be like, and then like their friends would be like, "Oh wow, we lost to a 6-year-old girl, man." I wouldn't pay attention to that because it's just like weird voice talking or something. So I would just like go to my mom and say, "Yay, I won!" Honestly, I never really noticed like anything like weird about me being a girl playing chess. It was like there's no one was like, "Oh no, you're a girl, you shouldn't play chess." It was just like, "Oh, cool, you're playing chess. You're really good at chess. Wow, you're really young. You're really good. Good job. Yay."
And so, but it is interesting that at your school that, okay, well, first of all, it's awesome that you are the only girl on the team and the best one on the team. That's phenomenal. But why do you think that you're the only girl on the team? Or is there, do you think that chess is, for whatever reason, less appealing to girls? Or, yeah, I don't know.
I think so. I know that when kids are really young, there's actually pretty much an equal number of girls and guys, maybe a bit more guys, but not too many. But there's like a lot more girls. I think as they progress through elementary school and most especially middle school, it sort of like turns like, I guess a lot of girls start being interested in chess. And I think there was at one point where I sort of like stopped improving a few, like maybe in fifth grade or fourth and fifth grade. I was same strength for a long time and I was like really angry. So I considered stopping, but I just kept on going and then eventually I got better. I guess, I don't know, girls in my school are very academically oriented, but even then they don't really not like, I don't know. I guess they like other stuff. I'm not quite sure what they do, but
No.
It seems like a lot more guys find chess interesting than girls. I mean, a lot of girls still find chess interesting, but I guess not as many. Maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm. And tell me about your. I want to hear a little bit more about your relationship with your parents and the advice that they give you. Yeah, are there any pieces of advice that you remember them telling you that stuck with you, or maybe after a particularly hard match? Yeah.
I mean, nothing particularly stands out, but I guess I remember that first of all, it's like my parents compared to some other parents, not all, but some other parents, they're not really as harsh. They're only a bit harsh, like, but definitely not as much as some other parents I know. So they're like, they ask like, at least my mom asks, because my dad doesn't know anything about chess. My mom asks, oh, what went wrong? Was it in the opening? Did you blunder? Is it something that can happen again? Stuff like that. And then like actual advice, I would say they always make me take a walk and stuff to re-energize myself. And then sometimes it does help me a little bit. Yeah, and then they always, if it's like the beginning of the tournament and I'm having some rough rounds, one, they say that first the next round might be harder because I didn't necessarily play with the strongest players yet. But they also say that even if like I lose the first, if like the second. Yeah.
Okay.
So like.
Okay. It just broke up again, but we're back. So they were saying that even if you lose the first,
Just even if I like lose the second round or something in a very long tournament, well, it's a very long tournament. There's still a lot of games left. If I lose, it means I'll get someone easier, so probably I'll win. And then it's just like, even if I do badly, there's still a lot of games left.
Mm-hmm. And what about when it doesn't come to chess, but just about school and about yeah.
What about school?
Oh, what are your parents? I guess yeah. I mean, what values would they have they instilled in you? What do they emphasize to you at home?
Well, one thing it's so I just finished 8th grade, and then I was in the a gifted program. So then there's a lot of classes I was taking in their high school level and that if I wanted could count for my GPA in high school. So then the classes like that, they're kind of like keep on checking, sort of like how's your grade in there, is what'd you get on the test, whatever. Um, like math, my parents especially want me to get A's in math. Unfortunately, I got a B first semester, but oh well. But then it's like they also remind me that it's only middle school and that it's like there's other things that are also important, such as chess for one. But then also just like not to stress myself too much and not to lose too much sleep over school, because that would be worse in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. And so your family is originally from Russia. Is that correct?
Yeah, Soviet Russia, but is now Ukraine.
I see. And you and your brother were born in Israel?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your family's story and their move to the US, or their move to Israel and then to the US.
Well, they moved, I think maybe in their 20s or something. They were in different cities in the same, like they were both in the same area of, they were both in like the Ukraine area, but they were in different cities. They never saw each other. And then individually, they moved to Israel to study. And was a civil engineer for a while, but then she went to college again to go to learn software engineering, which was paid a lot more. And there she found my dad, and they fell in love, and it was a nice story, whatever. And then eventually they had my brother, and they had a nanny to babysit him while my mom and my dad went to work. And then eventually, I think my mom had me, and I don't really remember what happened, but basically my dad was working on getting a visa and go to the US to work in Microsoft for a while. And then when I was 4, he managed to get it. So we went to Washington, Washington State. We got a new house. Well, first we lived in an apartment, then we got a house. He worked at Microsoft. I went to a new school. I was already when I was in Israel, I was starting to learn English on like CDs and stuff. So I wasn't that behind when I went to preschool. And it was preschool, so it wasn't like anything super difficult. I know my brother had like a bit of struggling getting used to American schools, but he fit in, and then eventually he became really sociable. But honestly, I don't even remember any of my life is at Israel. My memories start in America.
Mm-hmm. Have you traveled? Oh, I'm hearing echo. This is so weird. But you guys still have family in Ukraine?
No, not in Ukraine. Oh, well, I mean, we have some, but it's not like immediate family. It's
I see.
We have a lot of family though in Israel still. So like all 4 of my grandparents in Israel, as well as my great grandmother lives there. So then we sometimes visit them, and also have a grand aunt. So we visit. We don't really visit her, but sometimes we see her, and then have like a bunch of sort of family members, second cousins that I only sort of know. But I mean, yeah, we visit them sometimes, but it's like once a year basically.
I see. And do you know why the family made the move to Israel?
To get out of, I mean, I don't know, to study, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, I mean, to get to Israel, you said, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, as far as I know, to study.
Okay. Yeah. And what do you think it's like? How do you think it's different for your parents versus you um, living in the States, or when you first relocated to the States? How has the immigration experience been different for you than for your parents?
Well, one thing is, so for me, I know that I just like immediately got friends. It was since it was kindergarten, like preschool, I was a bit late, but then kindergarten, I started with everyone else. No one knew each other, so it was fun. It was nice. I remember I had to go to ELL. I forgot what it stands for, learning something.
Oh, yeah, ESL, maybe?
Yes, I don't know. I think it was
Yeah.
maybe. I think it was like English language learners, ELL.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
ELL.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I think I was in there for only 2 years, actually, just kindergarten and first grade. And then after that, I had like a bit of speech therapy because my S's and R's and TH's were still sort of like Hebrew R's and TH's and stuff. But then I mean, I incorporated it pretty well. Now I think my parents also incorporated very well. And then, but then they also got a bunch of other Russian friends also that we still know, and now I'm friends with my parents' friends' kids. So now I have like even more friends than at school. And then, I mean, we're pretty much like fully settled in for the most part. It's like we still go to like we still celebrate like some traditions and stuff, but it's I mean, I consider myself an American. My brother does too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said that your family has a Russian community, and that you have a community of Russian friends.
A little bit. The one problem is they don't really live in our area. They live in another city. But I mean there are a few at ours, but like not too many. But I mean, yeah, it's sort of like I guess my parents bond over them, bond with them. So it's there's a decent amount of Russian parents, yeah. So they have plenty of friends with, and they also have other friends, obviously, like a mix.
And is chess bigger within the Russian communities in the States than it is in American ones, would you say?
I mean, I think it's biggest among Chinese communities, actually, but and a lot of my friends in the gifted program are Chinese, so yeah, that's probably why so many play chess. But I mean, yeah, there's a decent amount that are Russian that play chess, and I have some friends also here that are Russian that play chess. I mean, there's obviously a lot of Indian and Chinese ones, etc. But yeah, there's a few Russian ones.
And so, and how old were you when your family moved here?
4.
4. Okay. And so within like the next year you were playing chess.
Pretty much. My mom told me she tried to teach me chess when I was 4, but I couldn't understand the pieces. But then when I was 5, I just got it.
Oh, that is so interesting. So is your mother's a longtime chess player?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
No, like, she told me, actually, that she's kind of like a chess mom. There's a lot of chess moms out there. What happened is she told me that when she was 7 years old, her dad and her brother tried to teach her chess, and then as she played, she got like she understood it, But then unlike my brother, her brother wouldn't let her win. So then eventually she decided it's the most terrible thing in the universe and that she'll never play it again.
Wow. Um,
Oh, yeah, actually, I think it was her cousin, not her brother. Oh, well.
got it. I see. And and when do you think? So where did your brother learn chess? Oh, right, from the checkers. He thought
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was
It was,
checkers,
thought
right?
it was checkers, it was chess. And then who taught it? Honestly, maybe my parents taught him it. Maybe his nanny taught him it. I don't know. It's a secret.
Hmm, I see. Um, and do you remember the first time that you beat him? That you really beat him?
I haven't really beaten him yet.
Oh, right. He's still sort of, yeah.
I
Yeah.
like by now I'm kind of catching up to him, so by now he's not that stronger than me, and I bet if we played like many times, I could, not even many times, just really just like probably 5 games, I could probably win at least once. But it's sort of like, it's not really interesting. We know each other's openings. It's very similar games all the time, so it kind of gets repetitive, and it's also not fun
Mm,
because he's my brother. So
yeah. Hmm. And what would you say is the best part about these chess tournaments? Is it the travel? Is it the tournament, like the sitting down to a game themselves? Is it right before you sit down for a game? Is it that walk from the hotel to wherever you're playing? Um, yeah.
I think so. The best thing would probably be that the quality of games here is very like high. The quality of my opponents is very strong, as opposed to like at home. Yeah, there's plenty of strong players, but I sort of at tournaments, they're small, short tournaments. I sort of have to play a few weak players before I play the strong players. But here, right away, it's possible that I don't win the first round, and there's 9 rounds, so there's a lot of strong players. I think yeah, so the actual chess playing is the most interesting. Um, I think after that is the food. Probably there's always like really good food, and I remember actually, I think it was maybe a year ago. I was in Greece actually. So oh no, maybe it was 2 years. Yeah, okay, I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, I was in Greece, and I remember that they always had during lunch and dinner they had ice cream. You could take a cone, and then you could put it under this machine. You would press a button, and then it'd go to the cone, and it'd like keep on going up and up and up and up and up. It'd be like super huge ice cream. The vanilla, it wasn't even tasty ice cream, but it was fine ice cream. So yeah, that was fun. And then also just the like food in general. Breakfast is always delicious. There's always a ton of stuff, and I always make myself overfull. But then lunch and dinner, there's also plenty of stuff. There's mashed potatoes are always uh, very good. There's some like chicken that's like prepared very nicely. So and then yeah, it's like fun tasting other cultures' foods.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that you get to travel all over the world for with these, I mean, they just sound so, challenging, but very fun. And so for the tournament where you played, or the game where you played against the Grandmaster, when did you find out you were going to be playing against him?
Um, I mean, I think it was the type of tournaments that I was only like maybe 10 minutes before the round. It's not like these tournaments where it's like, usually a few hours in advance. It was just like 10 minutes before the round. I saw I was playing him. I was like, oh, wow, I'm playing against the Grandmaster. And then I quickly like prepared myself mentally. And, I went out and played.
Hmm. Um, oh, so it wasn't, so it was really just like right before, that you found out that you were going to be playing against him. Is that correct?
I mean, 10 minutes, like a decent amount of time compared to like sometimes it's what happens is that they're like at small tournaments, sometimes even at these tournaments, like these huge tournaments, there's it's like some complicated pairings, and then it's like people come a bit late. So what happens, especially usually the first round, is that time it's supposed to start, and the pairings are 15 minutes after it's supposed to start. So then we get started like right away. If you're not there within like 3 minutes, then it's already your time starts running. So that's actually right away, right before.
Wow. And what were you excited to play a Grandmaster for the first time? Or what were your emotions there?
I mean, yeah, I was decently excited. It was also like a Grandmaster, but his rating went a bit down, so it means that maybe with he got a Grandmaster a long time ago, and then with age, he maybe got a tiny bit worse. So there was actually a chance I could actually like not lose. I realized, so it was exciting, but it was also really scary.
What were you scared about, or where do you think that fear came, or this? Yeah,
I think I was. I mean, I wasn't. I think the thing is that with playing stronger players, it's not that scary that you'll lose. Like it's not as scary as like actually playing really weaker players, because then if you do anything but win, it's super terrible. But like against the Grandmaster, I was sort of maybe not scared. I was a bit nervous, and I was also a bit nervous that somehow like I kind of just get unconfident or something. It just like mess up or not play my usual strength, or just play some weird moves that I wouldn't play otherwise, and that would stop me from winning. So it's like it's pretty nerve-wracking in general.
Yeah. Who would you say are your biggest role models, just in general?
And like not chess related, or like
chess or non-chess related?
I mean, non-chess related, I guess my family, because I just like generally look up to them. They're good and stuff. I wouldn't ask for any other family. And then chess related, honestly, I don't really have anyone chess related. Maybe my coach. If not my coach, then what I do remember is that in fourth grade, you were supposed to. It was beginning of the year. It was a new school for me. And then we were supposed to go into partners, and then I think it's finished. But that's like it. I said, isn't that 2 hours?
Hi, sorry, I lost you again. Okay, start from the beginning of what you were saying.
Fourth grade, it was you were supposed to go into partners. It was a project about learning about yourself, like learning about the other person, sort of. And then after that, it was sort of like a mystery person. It's like description of yourself, and the other classmates would have to guess which correlates to who. And then one of the questions was, who is your role model? And I didn't really consider myself to have a role model. I sort of just, I just like strive to be my best. But then, so I picked one, Magnus Carlsen. He's the current world champion of chess, and like and he's like really good, like awesome memory, awesome chess. Yeah. So I don't even follow his games. I just know of him, so I just said him. And then what I do remember is that the person I was doing it with, my partner, she spelled his name incorrectly. And then like that always struck me. Like I saw it when it was printed out and it was already official. I saw it like, that is misspelled. It was a very obvious misspelling. It was like weird one, but it's okay. And then eventually we became best friends, so it turned out fine.
When did you become best friends? Did you say?
That same year we became best friends, and then we were like continued for a few years, and then unfortunately now we're going to different high schools, but I'll probably still like talk to her every once in a while.
I see. What was I going to say? So what do you think your the future of, or what do you see as your next steps for chess, and then also outside of chess?
Well, one thing right now, I'm currently I have a title, chess title, Woman FIDE Master. And then the next step after that would be either regular FIDE Master or would be Woman International Master. It's if I get first place in this tournament, I get Woman International Master, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. So then, I mean, my more ambitious goal is to get to become a woman grandmaster by the end of high school, but I don't know if I can do that. But
wow.
But then the thing is, I don't know if I'll continue like doing if I'll do chess professionally, because I mean it's I know in other countries it's like chess is sort of escape. There's like a whole bunch of opportunities that they wouldn't find otherwise. But in the US, there's sort of already a whole bunch of things I can do. And especially in my area, in Washington area, there's a lot of software engineering jobs I can do that are like high paying and certainly not as stressful as chess. Mm-hmm. And like chess, compared to other sports and compared to other jobs, chess is definitely like, unless you're world champion or very close to it, or you become a world-renowned bookseller, it's sort of, chess isn't that high paying. It's fun, it's interesting, it's like brings, I guess, emotion and like, it brings emotion into your life. Chess brings emotion. But it's like, it's a bit of a hard lifestyle. So I think maybe it's an option for me. I could do it, but I think probably I'll just more play chess sort of like just for fun, or maybe I'll like get a teaching job or something in chess, but I don't think I'll play it professionally.
What was I going to ask? And so what will it take for you to become? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what will it take for you to become a grandmaster by the time you finish high school?
Well, there is two things. One, you have to get your rating to a certain level. So that means I have to keep on winning FIDE rated tournaments, which FIDE would be like international rated tournaments. So I have to play outside the US or like very strong tournaments in the US to get that. And I have to play a lot and I have to get really good. I think it's like, I don't remember the DAC rating. It's maybe 2,500 or something for women GM. Mm-hmm. And then other than that, I also have to get 3 GM norms. And GM norms are very difficult to get there. There's one thing is you can't get it at like the under 18 tournaments. There's one tournament that under 20 where if you get first place, you get a GM norm. And then other than that, you just have to like, there's certain tournaments where you have to get if you get a good enough result against grandmasters and against like foreign grandmasters especially, and against international masters. If you do that, it's like very strict or something, but if you manage to get enough wins or enough points, then you get a GM norm. But like I said, winning against grandmasters isn't something you can just like do every single day.
What was I gonna say? So are your feelings now that it is possible for you?
I mean, yeah, I think so, because
Yeah.
I mean, not plenty, but there's quite a few people who GM norms, not women GM, but like actual that actually got grandmaster titles before they were 18, like at 14, 15, stuff like that. And then I know also that the youngest a woman has gotten a grandmaster title was 14, which I'm already 14, so it's a bit late for that. But it's still, I mean, I think next year I'm dropping out of the gifted program because it's very stressful and I don't really have time for other things. So I think in high school I'll actually have plenty of time for chess. So I think if I do work hard enough and I don't know, if I just keep going at it, it's not too unimaginable that I'll get a woman grandmaster title by 18.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. I mean, it's just really phenomenal. And so interests outside of chess, if you don't pursue the, chess as a profession route, what else interests you? Yeah.
I mean, academically, I really like simple, straightforward, at least in the level I'm at. And then I'm not really sure as a profession. There's a lot of options. I could go to medical school and become a doctor of some sort. I could become a software engineer, like the main jobs basically. But I'm sure I could also do something else. Maybe I'll start a business one day. I don't know. I mean, I still have plenty of years to decide.
That is true. You do. And who are the people that, or I guess, what do your mom or your dad say when you're feeling upset about a game, when you're feeling stressed out about school or about chess? What do they say to encourage you and keep you going?
I think when it's that, like, even if I don't do that well or something, or like I'm really upset or I'm mad, they just say that, like, even so I'm still like really smart and I'll still do better in the future and stuff. I know that. So in chess tournaments, it's my mom sort of learns to not talk too much after I lost a really important game because I get a bit upset. But like it's still like a few kind words, and then by the next day I'm sometimes feeling a bit better. And there's still games. There's still like life goes on. It's not like life isn't really a chess game. Because in a chess game, when you lose, you lose. But like in life, it's like if you lose something, keep on going.
Yeah. What has been the most useful advice that your mom or your dad or a family member has, or your teacher has given you about chess or just in general? Are there any specific conversations that stand out to you or that have stayed with you?
I mean, I can't really think of anything specifically. I don't know. They just like sometimes they give me small bits of advice, but I think mostly I just manage on my own, and I manage on my own fine. And they guide me and stuff, but they kind of let me do my own thing, and then I can kind of give advice to myself, I suppose. I don't know. It works out.
Yeah.
Another thing is getting kind of close to the round. Can you like finish up in the next few minutes?
Oh yeah, no, totally. You know what? Those were the last few of my questions.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything else that you wish I had asked or that you think is important for me to know? Yeah.
No, it's good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Naomi, and for, sharing all of this and going so deep with some of this stuff. I know I've asked a lot of questions, but you've really done a great job answering them. And yeah, so the next steps, I'm going to type up some notes about our conversation, and I'll send them to my editor, and we will likely send someone out to photograph you at some point. But yeah, I'll be in touch about that. And yeah, best of luck with this tournament and the next one, and have a great time on vacation exploring Costa Rica. It's great.
Well, bye.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Okay.